Felines and Valentine's event, you see me kind of looking around and looking at the setup that's still going on. But we have a little like Valentine's gift shop. Again, the open house with the cats. We have a cat kissing booth. You can sample some wine and chocolates today, and really just kind of take in what we are, who we are, and hopefully find some gifts or find the right match for you if you're looking for a cat.
I'm going to ask the question that Jake is thinking. The kissing booth. Do we kiss the cats or do we kiss someone else and get a cat?
I just assumed we were kissing the cats.
The cats in this one, yes.
We're kissing the cat. Okay. Well, yep. I can't say I've ever kissed a cat.
You never given a cat like a little smooch?
Well, I've done this.
A little smooch on the head?
Yeah, well, perhaps.
A little smooch.
I guess I'm thinking full on lips. Which
no.
That feels intimate,
okay,
Mark Strell.
that would
I think
be
maybe a little forehead smooch is what we're thinking.
Okay, I'm painting the wrong picture in my head. Okay. Because I'm afraid I could get my lip bit off. I'm thinking the cat would not appreciate that.
Bradley, what I love about this, I'm a huge fan of rescue pets. My pup Daenerys is a rescue dog, and I love that we're tying this into Valentine's Day, and there's so many fun elements to it. I know that it's fun and interactive, and I want to talk about being able to bring wine and everything. But what I love is that correct me if I'm wrong, the ultimate goal of this thing is to find forever homes for a lot of these cats.
Absolutely. So this is the perfect day if you've been kind of on the fence about coming to visit, just kind of want to see what cats we have available. Because we've got about 100 cats here at any given time, and most of the rooms will be open today. So you can come in, kind of see which cats you really love, which ones you really like, who might be a good fit if you've been looking for one, and then have a chat with us and hopefully start the process of taking them home. Especially like this girl here.
Can I rent a cat for a little while? I was.
You could be like a foster parent. That's a thing.
This last week, I was in a building that I visit sometimes, and I noticed there was a little mouse scurrying around, and I'm like, you know what? This would not be a good home for a cat, but boy, I would sure like to have one for the next 48 hours.
Okay, Mark Stroh, you can't kiss the cats on the lips, and you're not going to put them to work killing other animals.
Well, that's what cats do. They like that.
These cats want to be smooched on the forehead, okay. Mark Stroh.
Well,
Bradley, I do want to ask, for people who are thinking about, well, okay, maybe now is the time to bring a cat into the home. One of the things I know that oftentimes we want to make sure is that it's the right place for these cats so that they're not brought back a week or a month or a year later. Mm-hmm. What do you want people to know about kind of what they need to assess about their own situation? And is there anything that they need to bring with them if they're coming in seriously considering adopting a cat? Like if they have other animals at home or if there are kids at home, do they need to bring the other animals or kids to see how they all get along?
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about that. We encourage a whole household to come when you're visiting for adopting a cat. That doesn't mean you're pets.
Sure.
And we want to keep the other animals here safe. And not every cat here is, say, like dog friendly, but a lot of them are. So we don't want you to bring your cats. Don't want you to bring your dogs. So, we have guidance. We provide information on how to introduce these new animals to your home when you adopt. But we do want to see like kids, family, whoever you live with, come in and also visit with the animal. So they, that everyone gets familiar with who that, like what that cat's personality is. And when you come in and adopt, really it's pretty straightforward information we need. We just need to know, your address, know how to contact you, just ask some basic questions about you and make sure that we know that you're going to be taking care of the animal and doing everything right by them. And, and we're always here to help too. If anyone ever has any questions after adoption, they can always give us a call, shoot us an email, and we can, guide them the right direction, say if they're looking for a vet, something like that. But it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We try to reduce those barriers to adoption as much as possible. So that way then we can encourage more animals in the home.
I like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now, as if the cats weren't enough, Bradley, I'm hearing that there might be, if someone comes out there a little bit later today, an alcoholic beverage that might be available?
Yep. So we have a wine and chocolate pairing that we do throughout the event. You donate a little bit of money. You get to try different chocolates with different wines. We've got a mix of whites, reds, different varieties that you can choose from as we're going through the day. And you can enjoy that while you're perusing our market here today and find gifts for your human or even animal Valentine.
Is there a risk of, someone comes out,
I know where you're going.
they have a glass of wine, maybe they have 2 glasses of wine, maybe they have 3 glasses of wine, and then they look at all those amazing cats that you have there and go, I'll take them all. Give them all to me. We really, I'd imagine.
I would love
that. So we're going to encourage.
Yes. Imbibe a little, yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is it a fee to come out to the Harmony House for Cats? Is there anything people need to know about coming out today?
Just come out today between 1 and 4. There's no fee to come in. Obviously, if you purchase anything, make a donation for the wine or the kissing booth, but it's a free open house. You're welcome to come in anytime between 1 and 4 and, tour our facility and get to know us a little bit.
For people who maybe can't make it out today, but they're interested in what you guys do, they like the mission for what you guys do, where can they go to maybe learn some information and maybe get involved at an event at a different time?
Few good ways to do that. Best way is go to our website. That's hh4cats.org. Also follow us on social media. We're Harmony House for Cats on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can find us on pretty much any social network, and you'll be able to keep up on our adoptable cats, how to support us, if you want to volunteer, make a donation, become a monthly donor, or come to one of our future events. We've got a lot of events planned for this year.
Love that. Bradley Petrick, Harmony House for Cats. It's going to be an amazing event taking place a little bit later today, 1 to 4 p.m. Congratulations on what you guys do, man. And I hope, and I say this in the most loving way, I hope there are no cats left whenever the event's done. I hope they all find forever homes and are very happy.
Love that. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. You have I'm gonna call you an animal fan because I've seen you with my girl Daenerys and she takes to you like a duck to water. I mean, she loves you and you're always giving her some good scritches behind the ears.
I have a special connection with dogs and cats. I've had many dogs and cats over the years.
I've never had a cat, if I'm being honest. I've never had a cat before.
If you live on a farm, you have to have a cat.
Sure.
I mean, that's just so I've had horses, and I was that close to having llamas one time.
What?
And
wait, what was the thing that kept you from having the llama?
Mrs. Strell. That was the problem. She scotched the deal.
Come on. How close? When you say close, how close?
Well, she went to go pick him up, and then there was some dispute that happened.
Oh, so she was all for it.
Well, initially, yeah, I think so. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I'm going to tell you the story because when I was a little kid, I wanted a llama. I came across the llama. I was at this place. They had llamas. I'm like, what cool animals.
Right.
I'm like, maybe 7th, 8th grade. At that time, llamas were about $10,000 because they were very, very rare. Well, I found a place where these guys were getting rid of their llamas. They weren't really loved on like I thought they should have been.
Sure.
So I was going to go get a llama, and it was very, very affordable. And so Mrs. Strell at that point says, well, there's 3 more. Let's just bring them all home. I'm like, yes. We're going to be a llama farm. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the llamas, but we're going to have them. And then somehow the next week, a couple days later, when it came time to, get the llamas, I'm not sure what happened, but, the terms of the deal came unraveled, and I did not get the llama. I got to tell you a little postscript to the story. This is probably more than you ever want to know about me and llamas. I ran into a guy I kind of knew a little bit at Home Depot. He worked there. And he was telling me how he had just purchased like 4 llamas. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Were they
those
your
were my llamas?
Oh, come on.
So I'm glad at least they went to a good home.
I was going to say, hopefully they're living life.
So I've got a little chip on my shoulder, quite honestly.
Clearly, I see it.
I've never owned a llama. And to this
out
day.
There that has a llama they want to give Mark Strell.
I'm just saying.
He's here. He's waiting.
Reach out to me.
That is a fact I did not know about you. I'll give you a fact that you might not know about me. I take my chili cooking recipe very seriously.
Well, this is not really a surprise because you are from Texas.
I am from Texas, but it's something I take great pride in, and it's also it's a special situation that allows for me to cook my chili, because I only do it once or twice a year. And my girlfriend was recently introduced to this. It has to be like on a weekend.
I was going to say by the light of a full moon.
You're not too far off. It's got to be like a blizzard or a snowstorm outside.
I'm down with that.
And I have to, I'll listen to your forecast and I'll know it's coming, and I'll say, okay, it's chili weekend. So then what I do is it's a slow cook. It's an all-day thing. It's like an 8-hour cook. And then when it's done, I put it in a bowl, some onions, little shredded cheese. I pour a little splash of whiskey, and then I watch one of my favorite snow-themed horror movies, which means I usually, just recently, a few weeks ago, we did it, and we watched The Thing. My girlfriend had never seen The Thing.
That's a great
John Carpenter's
snow
The
theme.
Thing.
Sure.
Or we'll watch The Shining. Or Quentin Tarantino has a great film called Hateful Eight, which is a great snowed-in film. And so it's got to be all of these things have to fall into line.
Yeah.
But that's a long way of saying I love chili. I love making chili, which is perfect for our next guest. We're going to talk with Stephen DeFalco, who's going to talk with us about the Palos Park. It's Chili in the Park annual chili cook-off. Stephen, a man after my own heart. Stephen, what is happening right now?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Good morning and welcome. We are at Palos Park, a southwest suburb of Chicago, and we are at our annual It's Chili in the Park annual cook-off. So we are here with 20 cooks from 4 different states in the Midwest, and we are cooking all morning. Like you said, it's an all-day event, right? These cooks got here at 7 a.m. to start preparing. At 1 p.m., they're going to be judged by some local judges and take home some prizes and points to qualify for the national tournament for the CASI governing body down in Texas.
Stephen, I'm really curious, what are the rules for the contestants today? Is it they have to bring all of their ingredients? Like, is it kind of like they start cooking at like a go point and then it's only within the time that they're there? What are the rules that they have to follow?
Yeah, that's a great question. So all of our come with their raw ingredients to the site, and when they begin cooking after a cook's meeting at 9 a.m., they have from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at turn-in to complete the entire cook of their chili.
And who gets to judge this chili, and why weren't Mark and I asked?
Yeah, hello.
I know, we got to get you out here next year. So wonderful locals like our mayor of Palos Park, Nicole Milovich Walters, other locals get invited. They get a brief orientation when they get all the chili cups down there for a blind taste test. And they are judged on 5 different criteria: aroma, color, taste, and aftertaste. You know, sometimes that chili, that afterburn, sometimes is more powerful than the initial taste. So they all go around, they taste them blind, they put their 1 through 10 score in, and then we declare a winner after the judging.
Now, I got to tell you, Mark, you probably have too. I've been to a chili cook-off or two in my time, and these guys and gals, they are not messing around. They They take the competition seriously. They take their own personal recipes seriously. As fun as this event is, Stephen, I'd imagine there is, I don't want to say it's a serious matter, but there is a seriousness to this. Like, they take the cook-off seriously.
Yes, especially because this is qualifying for them for points. So the CASI, the Chili Appreciation Society International, they're getting those points to qualify for nationals in November. So it's a big family reunion from 7 to 9. But once those cooks start cooking, they lock in and the competition is on.
Okay, that's it. A Chili Appreciation Society International. I had never heard of such a I don't mean to ask a stupid question, but what is that exactly?
Yeah, so it is an organization that is international. So cooks from all over the world have these sanctioned events. So in the United States alone, there's over 400 sanctioned CASI cook-offs for those local cooks and regional cooks to get those points for nationals. And like I said, that first weekend of November, they all come together for one big cook-off, and it's really a sight. It's an amazing organization, and we're so happy to partner with them on events like this.
Do we have any rules of what can and cannot go into the chili? I have been to some chili cook-offs where reportedly there was some possum in the chili.
What?
Yeah, it was
So
was
I don't know
advertised,
about
roadkill,
possum up here, but some major things that we consider when we're making these chilies is there's no filler. So there's no beans, no noodles, things like that. So your crock pot, 3-bean casserole type chili may not cut it for competition chili. It is literally a meat protein and that beautiful sauce. So no fillers is probably the biggest rule that a lot of new chili cooks get tripped up on.
Stephen, I actually was going to ask you that question before we go. I have a very strong no bean policy in my chili. I'm a big no beans. No beans. The peppers and the meat. Yeah. So you guys would agree with that sentiment?
Yes, you are on the right path. Those Texas roots are deep embedded in you. You just know the beans are not right in the chili.
It's not right.
Wow, I was unaware because most chilies have beans, right?
Well, you know what? We don't make most chilies around here. Stephen, really quick, people can come out, right, and actually try some of the chilies that are being made. Let's get some last minute information for what people need to know about the event today.
Yeah, so definitely. So all of this is happening today at the Palos Park Recreation Center. We're located at 8901 West 123rd Street in Palos Park. You can come. Doors open at 12:30. We're going to have some music. We're going to have some Super Bowl trivia as we lead up to tomorrow's big events. And then at 1:15, you're going to be able to buy a tasting cup and go around to all the chili cooks, talk to them about their process, their recipes, if they give you some of that information. And then you'll be able to taste them. So it's a great time to just kind of relax with family before all the big festivities tomorrow, get some good chili know-how for tomorrow's game, and walk away hungry and happy.
And that cup is only $5.
That's true. Only $5
And you get to vote for People's Choice.
Yes.
I love this. Mark Stroh, I think we've been speaking with Stephen way too long without addressing that he looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah. That's a good look.
We can't end this interview without acknowledging what you're wearing, my friend.
I mean, I love what I do. The Department of Recreation and Parks, our mayor says it best. It is the Department of Fun. So to be able to do this, I showed a video of me in this costume to my 3-year-old daughter the other day, and she could not get enough of it. So I think the costume is here to stay. It's a new annual tradition. And, if you can't have fun, why are you even doing this?
Exactly.
You know what? Good call. Good call. Stephen, you guys have a great time out there today. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
That's what I said this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
If we're not going to have fun,
then what
why
are we
am I
doing?
even showing up?
That's why we do this show.
If I had a chili outfit like that, I think I'd wear it every single day.
I would have felt bad if we just had gone the whole interview and
Not
just
even
not
mentioned it.
not once acknowledged.
I got to tell you a quick chili story. My father-in-law, who was like a Northrop engineer, so much of an engineer, loved chili so much, he went and got, this is pre-internet days, got the 10 Texas Chili Cook-Off Championship recipes for 10 years in a row. He took them home, he cooked all 10, decided what he liked about this one, what he liked, and then conglomerated them into his family chili.
It's funny, people ask me for my chili recipe, and I say, you know what, it kind of changes every time. Like I have a kind of a core base of like, I know I got to buy this, I got to know, but throughout, if you cook it over 8 hours, sometimes you go, a little pepper and throughout, put a little more garlic, a little bit more. So
you cook like my mom.
Yeah. So there's no, it's just a little this. All right. We got to go to break. We didn't talk too much about chili. We got more coming up on this Saturday edition of Chicago Live.
What talking about? Beer.
Welcome back. Just about 10:27 on this special Saturday edition
It is special.
of Chicago Live. So, Mark Straw, earlier on Good Day Chicago, we had quite a few guests join us from the Chicago Auto Show. And one of the things I thought was interesting that our producer Gabe brought up was that it's a lot more than just the cars that are out there. We talked to one maker of like baby seats.
Car seats,
Yeah, car
right.
seats. And there's so many different, I was just out there yesterday morning for Good Day Chicago, and there's so many different aspects out there, including, I thought this was really interesting, and it makes sense, some DMV services.
Sure.
I thought that was really interesting. So we kind of thought, who better to talk with us about what's going on out there, who can kind of fill us in, none other, the Illinois Secretary of State, Alexi Janulius. Alexi, how are you this morning, sir? We appreciate you taking the time.
Good morning, Alexa. Can you hear us okay? Well, he looks good in that
He looks,
picture.
well, he
Yeah.
always looks fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to see if we can get everything figured out. Alexi, let's see, we're going to get it figured out in just a second. Well,
I got to tell you one idea that I really like that he had, and it might have been a staff member. I'm going to throw it his way anyway.
Sure.
Is that, we had to get this new ID.
Yeah.
With the little star on there.
Yep.
And they came up with this superstore,
Yeah.
which was like a fax track. And, I would go, I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah.
So I held off getting mine, and now it came time that I had to get on a plane, so we have to have a little star on there. And I see the line kind of go around the block, so I'm like, oh my goodness, this place is swamped. It's going to take me, like any DMV, it's going to take me like, in other states, I should say, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's going to take me like 100 hours to go through there. I went down there. There was a little line around the block, which took me inside within 5 minutes. I was in and out of that facility with my little star on my driver's license in under an hour. I was blown away.
I've had, obviously, I've been in Chicago for a long time now, and so I haven't had to go to the DMV a lot, but I've had to go a couple of times. And I am always impressed at how pretty streamlined everything is. And listen, I'm sure there are people at home that maybe do have their own personal horror stories, but my own experience with all the folks with the DMV and the entire department here in Chicago, I was very impressed by just how moving and grooving and polite and professional and because that can be, I'd imagine, a thankless job sometimes. You get people in there and they're impatient,
Absolutely.
they're ready to get going,
Right.
and
they've got to deal with bureaucratic, going through the chutes and ladders. And I got to tell you, the last two secretaries of states we have, including, the last two, this one and the one before, who was just beloved.
Sure.
Those have been really great guys in an office that has been notorious for inefficiency, and there has been a long, long, long history of corruption in that office. So I'm really happy to see the last two people that have been there. They've really straightened that
I was just about to say, because these guys, I feel like now have given this department kind of this almost like this glowing reputation because of who they are.
Right.
And Alexa, he does the every year the license plates that they say no to.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're unfamiliar with it, they do this thing where you have to apply. If you want a personalized license plate, you have to apply for it. And there are some that they have to look at and go, no, we can't do that.
We were looking at the list earlier this year, and I was looking at some of them, and they didn't really make sense to me why they were banned, but they kind of meant something to the kids.
That's it.
And
I think that's what's interesting is that they've got to, I'd imagine they almost have a team of people and probably some young people.
Yeah, a team of teens.
To kind of lean over and, to kind of go, listen,
what that means.
this is what that means.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'm still, like I said, it's been going for a while now. I'm almost 40 years old. I still have absolutely zero idea of what 6'7" means. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a thing. It's what the kids do. 6'7", 6'7".
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things that really doesn't mean anything, right?
That's what I've been told. It doesn't mean anything. And I as a journalist, I refuse to believe that. So then I kind of tracked it down, and apparently it comes from a song lyric where they're referring to someone's height, that the guy is 6'7". So they took that lyric, the him being 6'7", and then it exploded, and now it's just kids going 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". But my understanding, it doesn't mean anything.
Which I can understand as a figure of speech. Like if you were saying something and I didn't buy into it, I might go, "You're so 6'7".
Yeah, I don't think that's using it right.
No, I don't think it is either, because I don't think it means anything, right?
All right, we're going to check in with our producer in the booth. Gabe, if you can hear us, or do we have Alexi? We're still working on it. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's some 420 going on in the booth. I think that's the number there. Yeah.
Are you?
I'm just
how
kidding.
often do you go out to the auto show?
It's been a few years, but it's always enjoyable. You know, in the past, I always loved to see the concept cars.
Yeah.
And now, here was my frustration over the years, was the concept cars that I wanted to just jump in and drive away in.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, well, we may or may not make this car. I'm
exactly
like,
right.
Well, why don't you make it? Because it looks really cool.
All right. You know what? You know what we do have.
Yeah.
We got Alexi on the line.
All right, outstanding.
Our Illinois Secretary of State, Alexi Janulius. I wish you could have heard us sooner, Alexi.
Yeah.
We were just bragging about how great you and your department are. I really wish you could have heard the last 5 minutes of the show.
Well, let's just do it again.
We'll do a take two.
Yeah.
We really were bragging about how great you are, but
we really weren't. Yeah, to the point where you'd probably want to give us a discount on the license plates. That's all I'm saying. Hey, it's great to have you on the show.
We'll get you to the front of the line.
Beautiful.
It's great to have you on the show again. It's great to see you. You know, Good Day Chicago. It seemed like we had you here all the time a few years back, so we miss you.
I miss you too. Thanks for having me on. I hope you guys are doing great.
Well, we hope you are doing great. Listen, you know, one of the things that we were talking about the auto show is that there are so many things there that are beyond just the realm of looking at cars and getting behind the wheel. And it stands to reason I didn't think about. It's a perfect pairing, DMV services being available out there. So tell people what they can expect if they go out to McCormick Place.
Yeah, you know, families that are coming here, they're looking at cars. It's a tremendous opportunity to get some chores knocked out. You can get your real ID, you can renew your driver's license, you can get a new license plate. It's basically a full-service DMV right here at the Chicago Auto Show. So we're really encouraging folks to come get your real ID. If you need to renew something, come by. The booth is great. We have a lot of folks working here. It's exciting for us, and we actually service quite a few people.
I bet. Hey, you know, you mentioned the Real ID and all of the other services. Fill me in where we're at with organ donation. Do I still need the little orange sticker on the back of my driver's license like in years past? What do I need to do to complete that?
So when you renew your ID or driver's license, just tell us you want to be an organ donor. You can do it online. And again, we have one of the largest organ donor programs in America. We're proud of that. A lot of people want to be, they just neglect to do it. We're really encouraging. Here's a chance for you to truly save lives. So we're out here encouraging organ tissue donors to sign up as well here at the booth.
I love that. You know, and honestly, not in a smoke-blowing kind of way, but Mark and I really were just saying that our past few experiences at the DMV have been really great, and we were kind of moving along, but I feel like it's also possible that anyone that's getting some of these DMV services out at the auto show, does it stand to reason that it might be a little bit of a faster process than if they were to go out to the DMV?
It's pretty fast, yeah. It's a pretty fast process. You can come in and out. Depending on the time, like in the afternoon and the evening, it gets a little busier, but right now there's no lines. Come get your real ID, get your driver's license renewed. And yeah, we take a lot of pride more broadly in customer service. We like to think that we've changed the way business is conducted at the DMV. We moved to an appointment-only system. We're trying to eliminate the time tax that people pay to access government services. We want to rebuild trust in government, and we treat the Secretary of State's office like a private company. We're trying to make the customer service a key component. We're bringing innovation, new technology. You know, you can have your driver's license or ID on your iPhone now. I'm really proud of the innovation we've been able to bring, and a lot more to come on that front.
Yeah, the time tax, you know, we appreciate that because in Illinois, we all know we're taxed enough. So, you know, thanks for taking that one tax off our plate.
We're working on it, and we want people, again, to feel good about the process. We don't want people to wait in lines. We want to make it as easy as possible. So I'm really proud of our team for bringing efficiency back to the Secretary of State's office.
Well, you have a lot to be proud of. Alexi, really quick, if someone comes out to the auto show, I was out there yesterday. I know it's big. I know there are hundreds of thousands of square feet out there. Can you sort of give people an idea of where you guys are located within the auto show?
Yes, I would love to be able to give them an idea. I would say it's towards the back, but if you've ever been here, this place is massive.
Sure.
So east-west, back front. We are near there's a large Volkswagen piece.
Okay,
We're right
cool.
behind the Tesla area. So you guys should come out, enjoy your families. I've got great memories of coming here with my father when he was still alive, and it's great to see families out here checking out cars, hanging out. Another reminder of why this is the greatest city in the world.
Love that. I think if people need to find where the DMV services are, they just need to look for the best dressed man at the Chicago Auto Show, and you'll be in the right place. Alexi Julius.
He's somewhere back here.
We appreciate you, sir. It's always good to see you, and thank you for taking the time.
You too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, this Saturday edition of Chicago Live will be right back. $250 years of America. That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, but I mean, not as long as Rome, but
sure.
You know, we're doing pretty good on our own.
Yeah, I think we're doing. I think we're doing just fine.
Okay.
But you know what? There are a lot of things that are going to be happening, I'd imagine, over the summer, particularly as we get closer to July to celebrate that 250th anniversary. We're going to speak with someone with the Illinois Humanities. They're launching America 250. It's a program statewide, prioritizing local stories and the role of Illinois in shaping the nation. We're going to talk with Gabrielle Lyon. Gabrielle, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you.
Morning.
So much to talk about here, but first of all, give people a little bit of a sense of who you guys are and what you guys do.
Sure. So Illinois Humanities, we've been around 50 years, and our job since we were established was basically to make sure people all over the state, and of course here in Chicago, can get together with free programs, talk about ideas that matter, get to the source of things, and we do that with grants, we do that with free programs. We have education for adults who've never been to college.
You know, I was reading something here. You know, we were just talking about, you know, the 250th coming up this summer, which is going to be a huge, big deal. But there's a quote that belongs to you that I thought was really interesting, that the 250th is much more than a birthday party. And I think that's such an interesting, I'm curious as to if you could expand on that.
I mean, let's be clear. It is a birthday party. It's 250 years since the Declaration of Independence was signed, but it's so much more than that. I think especially for us in Illinois, it's really a chance to shine a spotlight on the way the people who have lived in Illinois shaped our national story. And they did that by being labor organizers, by being artists, by being journalists. And I think the chance right now for us in Chicago, in Illinois, is to really claim those parts of the story that are ours and what we what we contribute to making the country free and equal and helping us all pursue happiness.
You know, and to that point, it says here, you know, there's a phrase that you use, that history belongs to all of us. And I'm sort of curious how that idea kind of steers the purpose of you guys.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. You know, I'm the executive director of Illinois Humanities. I also chair the state's Illinois 250 America Commission. And I think one of the things that's so striking right now in 2026 is we're entering this anniversary at a time when people are just asking the question, who gets to tell America's story? We're seeing a lot of efforts coming out of the federal government in Washington to erase history, to limit archives, to really control the national story. I think for us, we know that it's our stories. First of all, the Declaration talks about we the people, we are the people. Secondly, when we record our stories, when we get to have a conversation like this in the free press, you know, we actually are making history. And I think the last thing is it's really, really important to help people feel like they get to belong. I think this anniversary can feel like advertisements for Coca-Cola or trucks, but actually it's about who we are. We're an American experiment. We're an experiment in democracy. I think your colleague mentioned, you know, we're not as old as Rome, but we've made an incredible contribution to the world as being the most diverse, most robust democracy. And I think that's what this anniversary can be about.
You know, there's a quote here from Sue Scott, who's the executive director of Western Illinois Museum. That's one of the 12 community conversation host organizations. And I think it's really interesting. Engage with history, listen to each other, and think together. And I think 3 words there: engage, listen, and think. I think are 3 sometimes underrated actions today, and particularly the listening part.
Yeah, you know, first of all, Sue Scott is a brilliant leader of the Western Illinois Museum in Macomb. It's in the western part of the state, not too far from the Mississippi River, and she's really done an incredible job, kind of collecting and centering the artifacts from people's lives, recipes, hats, but also using that place and space for people to come together, develop pride, develop connections. For Illinois Humanities, that's the humanities part. It's all the things that help us be more human. And I think if you really look at this moment, this 250th anniversary, yes, it's a time to be patriotic, but actually Abraham Lincoln, you know, right here in Illinois, reminded everybody that the importance of the Declaration of Independence is that we're not just blindly patriotic, we're really reflective. So what does that look like in practice? It means you show up to a book group or a conversation or a performance, and you go there being curious. The humanities really kind of our specialty, our special sauce, if you will, is taking statements and turning them into questions. When you come to an Illinois Humanities program like Rhodes Scholars or Community Conversations, some of the things we're doing for the 250th, we're trying to make and protect space where like people can be generous with each other when they disagree. I think that think and engage and reflect, it doesn't just happen. You really have to like make and protect space for it to happen. And I think that's something that's, you know, really what we're stepping up into this year is saying, hey, we're going to own this moment. We are going to show up. We're going to make and do as much as we can, despite the headwinds. And on the other side of it, Illinois will have contributed, I think, something really special to this national celebration.
I love that. Really quick before we run out of time, how can people get involved if they'd like to learn more?
Well, the easiest way to get involved is to go to il250.org. That's a site Illinois Humanities is running. You can sign up to be a community partner. You can sign up to have a Rhodes Scholar come. But the most exciting thing we'll be sharing and launching in March is you can record your story. Illinois Humanities is creating a time capsule of people's voices from all 102 counties, and we'd love to have everyone listening contribute their story and their voice for the next 250 years.
Love that. Gabrielle Lyon, Illinois Humanities, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, and I'm sure we'll be talking more as we get a little bit closer to everything happening later this summer. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Mark Strahl, have you ever gotten to do a morning live shot at any of the museums around Chicago?
I'm jealous because I would be back here, Monday through Friday during the weather.
Right.
And I would see you out doing the coolest stuff on any given morning.
It kind of, it's a really, I always love getting, particularly we're going to be talking with someone at Griffin MSI, Museum of Science and Industry, and which is one of my favorite museums on the planet, if I'm being honest. But doing those live shots, whenever we go out in the morning, it ruins the museum for you in a way because you get the whole place to yourself. They usually they're so kind, and they open up early for us. And in between live shots, a lot of times I'll be live at 8:50 and then not back live till 9:50. And so for an hour,
you can wander them.
I'm wandering, dude. Last time I was there a couple of weeks back, I wandered over to the submarine.
I was gonna say,
just walking through the I have the museum to myself so that whenever I go during normal working hours, I'm like, who are these people?
What are they doing
in my museum? Exactly right.
It probably feels like a night at the museum.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Well, listen, there's so much going on, and the reason I got lost is because there's so much to see. We're going to talk with Matt Porth about everything happening out at Griffin MSI. Matt, you guys, because you're always so kind and always let us go out there. Again, first world problems, woe is me. But you've ruined museums for me because now I don't want to share them with anybody else.
I'm very sorry, Jake. That's definitely a problem. We'll work on fixing that for you.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let me tell you this. There's so many things I want to talk about that's going on out there. The reason I was out there a couple of weeks back is the Paul Tazewell Crafting Character exhibit, which if you are a fan of pop culture, I mean, this is the guy who won an Oscar for creating the costumes for Wicked. Okay. He did the costumes for Hamilton. He did, I mean, he is a master. And not only is there this beautiful sort of tribute to him at the museum, Matt, you guys actually got the costumes that won him the Oscar for Wicked.
Yeah, that's right. It's an amazing, amazing exhibit. It's an immersive experience, crafting character, the costumes of Paul Tazewell. You did a great job kind of summing up who he was, Jake. The other really cool thing about that exhibit is that he actually does narration. So he narrates the immersive experience in all the rooms, or has people that worked with him that come in and kind of share some really fun behind the scene stories of the making of the costumes. So you can really see not only the innovation that goes into those and the creativity, but a lot of the technical, a lot of the engineering for some of those really big, extravagant costumes that are in like The Wiz or Wicked. And it truly is fascinating. And you just get lost in it. It's a truly immersive experience. And it made me want to go out and watch all those movies again, once I learned a little bit about the costuming element.
That's what I love so much about your museum. There's the things I can count on: the coal mine, the submarine. I love the train set.
Yeah.
But yet you always have these new, fresh.
Dude, there's a Spider-Man exhibit out there that is awesome. And you guys just extended that, right? Extended it for a little bit longer?
Spider-Man has been extended through April 26th.
Really?
So make sure over spring break,
Live
you come out and see the world's favorite web slinger.
It's probably good that there wasn't anyone at the museum whenever I got to see that exhibit, because the way I would be shoving children aside to make way for me to see Mr. Peter Parker. Matt, you guys are also doing a lot in regards to Black History Month this month.
That's correct. Yeah, we have the Black Creativity Programming officially kicked off at the same time that the Paul Tazewell exhibit opened, which was January 19th, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Black Creativity Juried Art is actually, I got it right here, I want to make sure I say it right, is the longest continually running juried exhibition of Black art, allowing professional and emerging Black artists an opportunity to display their work at a major museum and build connections with other artists and the public.
Matt, you couldn't memorize that whole line? Come on, man.
What's that?
You couldn't memorize that whole line?
I tried. We have the science fair going on right now. I did my best to commit to it, but I was like, I just want to read it and get it perfect. But here, I can't show you stuff. A lot of stuff I did memorize. It's going on until April 19th, the Juried Art exhibit. And there's over 200 pieces that were selected. Now, what does juried art mean? That means that pieces were obviously, put into the pool. They, what am I trying to say? The artists presented them, and they were selected by a jury to pick the 200 that are on display. And those are from both teenage artists as well as adult artists, in that 18 or over category.
That's a way better jury than the last one I saw. So.
Hey, listen, the only thing that I think that's better than all of the exhibits and everything to see out at Griffin MSI is the ability to see them for free. And there is a way to do that.
Yes. Illinois Resident Free Days. We have a bunch of them coming up, including tomorrow is an Illinois Resident Free Day. So if you're not sure who you're going to cheer for the big game, cheer on science. Come to Griffin MSI. If you're an Illinois resident,
go science.
Go online. You can get them online through clicking the resident link, or you can just come straight to the museum the old school way and just come to the ticket counter and show your ID, and you can get your free ticket then. Besides tomorrow, Illinois Free Days also are February 9th through 12th, February 17th through the 19th, and February 23rd to the 26th. And all these are on the website. If you go to the website, they're all there. And then mark your calendars now. Sunday, April 19th is also going to be a free day. Sunday, April 19th. And that's all on the website. Instructions on how to get your tickets. Come see us. Have a great day if you're an Illinois resident, and enjoy everything we got for free. Well, I should say Spider-Man, you would still need to get an upcharge for that. Still have to pay for that, but the basic general package is all free with that.
Well, it's worth it. Matt, we got just about 2 minutes, but I have a question, and it's okay if you don't have the answer for it, but I'm always fascinated with museums. I always say that everything that a museum displays, it's a cliche, but it's like the tip of the iceberg. All museums have so much behind the scenes in sort of these storage rooms under lock and key, being preserved. Years ago, I got to go behind the scenes over at Griffin MSI. They opened the doors for me, and I got to see everything that they have. Do you guys ever allow people behind the scenes into sort of that area of the museum?
I've been at Griffin a long time. It'd be 26 years actually. And there used to be like for special events, certain events where people could go to collections. And it's obviously something a lot of people, like you, Jake, want to see. So not recently, probably within the last year, the museum actually added a digital archive to our website. You can actually click on and see a lot of things that have been off the floor or have been part of our collections for a while that just haven't kind of made it back out in other exhibits. And you can go and you can learn all about those. You can search it out through like U505 or through natural history or through chemistry. And it's got all that stuff linked up. It's very fascinating and a really cool look at our collections.
Look at that. Matt didn't even know we were going to ask that, and he had an answer ready to go. That is a professional.
That's why I like Matt.
That's why I like Matt too. Matt Porth, Griffin MSI, man, we appreciate you. We love what you guys are doing out there, and please keep up the good work, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Well, and Mark, we got to get you in the vortex and the big swirling tornado. I think
you know what?
Only if there's nobody else in the museum.
I'm afraid I might get spun away and sucked up. Yeah.
It only goes about 5 miles an hour, my friend.
No chance for me.
It's a lot of fun.
No chance.
Matt Porth, we appreciate you, brother.
Illinois resident free days for general admission tomorrow, all through February.
He's good.
Go Science.
Go Science.
Go
I like.
Science.
To be
Go
fair,
Science.
but if it's between the Seahawks and the Patriots, I'm going with Science.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going with Science. All right, this has been, I'm going to say it, a very special edition of Chicago Live on Saturday. But if you want an even more special, a specialer,
More.
as it were,
More specular.
tomorrow you and Sylvia are doing it.
Well,
And just when you thought this show couldn't get better, take me out of it.
you're welcome to come back.
And it gets, it's my day off. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into First and North. I'm Cassie Carlson. Joining me this week on First and North, we have Jennifer Hammond from Fox Detroit, Tim Van Voorn from Fox Milwaukee, and Pierre Nugent from Fox Minneapolis. And Pierre, I want to start with you because what is going on with the Vikings? They fired GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah late last week after he spent the entire week in Mobile at the Senior Bowl scouting for the draft. What's been the reaction in Minneapolis?
Certainly raised my eyebrows, Cassie. There's no question about it. I know everybody wants to talk about the timing of which the firing took place, but really, it wasn't really so much of as a surprise for me in terms of him being fired on January 30th, as opposed to perhaps January 15th. The surprise to me is parting ways with Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah less than a year after you sign him to a contract extension. less than a year. All of a sudden now Minnesota's ownership group took a step back and thought to themselves, this is no longer working. This is not the direction we want to go to. So that really was the most surprising aspect of it for me, firing him less than a year. You just gave him a contract extension. But yeah, no matter how you slice it, this was something that was completely out of left field for Vikings fans, and the timing of the situation to let Kwesi Adofo-Mensah go, certainly a move that raised a lot of eyebrows here in the Twin Cities.
All right, here's what Vikings Mark Wilf had to say about the decision to move on from him.
This is a critical offseason. Ultimately, we felt the change was necessary in football operations and did not feel comfortable going forward into this offseason with the current leadership. It's not about any one decision or move. We looked at the situation cumulatively. We just didn't feel confident going through the entirety of the offseason, an additional draft, and free agency with this structure.
All right, so Wilf said that they looked at everything cumulatively. They didn't sign Sam Darnold, who won 14 games for the Vikings last year. He goes on to Seattle, wins 14 games, and takes them to the Super Bowl this year. There's questions about J.J. McCarthy being the answer at QB. Only 4 of his 28 draft picks are starters. And now they don't plan on hiring a GM until after the draft. Pierre, do you think the timeline changes the attraction of this job?
Yeah, I certainly think it does. And the fact that they're not going to be hiring a general manager until after the draft suddenly makes me wonder how much power Kevin O'Connell really swings in that organization. Because if you're not going to bring in a new general manager before the draft, Rob Brzezinski, who will be the interim GM for the time being, and Kevin O'Connell will collaborate as the Vikings prepare for the 2026 NFL draft. But yeah, this is certainly a bit confusing as well, because it's not really the power structure that you normally see in most organizations in the NFL. A lot of times you'll see if a team wants to wipe the slate clean, they'll bring in a GM, and that GM gets to pick his head coach. But the Vikings are sticking with Kevin O'Connell, who is widely regarded as one of the young, bright minds in the NFL. We certainly want to give him credit there. But for the Vikings to now wait until after the NFL draft to bring in a general manager, certainly not the way I would approach it. But at the same time, too, Minnesota, you heard Mark Wilf talk about it there, about it being a critical offseason for the Vikings. But really, when you look at this situation for the Vikings, the draft track record, like you pointed out, Cassie, for Kwesi Adofo-Mensah over the previous 4 seasons, I think that was really the main crux. I know the optics of Sam Darnold playing in the Super Bowl this Sunday looks bad for Minnesota, that they chose J.J. McCarthy essentially over Sam Darnold. I can't fault the logic, however, because playing and constructing a team with a good rookie quarterback and allowing you to spend money elsewhere on the roster, that's not a philosophy that I can disagree with. They just missed on the quarterback. Both of these things can be true at the same time. You miss on the quarterback, you miss on your draft picks over the last 4 years. A lot of those situations have come to a head, and now the Vikings are moving on.
Yeah, the way it sounded, Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores were already heavily involved in personnel decisions because of Adofo-Mensah and kind of his role with kind of evaluating talent in general. I want to switch gears to the Bears because they're dealing with their own changes, this time to the coaching staff, which is new territory in Chicago that teams are plucking from a coaching staff, as Declan Doyle, their offensive coordinator, was named the Ravens OC. So he is now going to be paired with Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP who is 29 years old. Doyle himself is 29 years old, one of those young up-and-comers in the NFL. He got his start with the Saints under Sean Payton, now gets a season under Ben Johnson. And I feel like this is the Ben Johnson coaching tree that's starting to get roots and expand. And I think it's going to be a continual progress that we see him become one of those guys like Sean McVay, like Kyle Shanahan, just because of the offensive mind that he has and what we saw of the Bears having one of the top offenses in the league this year. And so Declan Doyle now is going to be tasked being paired with Lamar Jackson to get the most out of him after a down season. And I think the run game in particular and what he was able to learn from Ben Johnson made him one of the good candidates for this, knowing that the Ravens have a strong run game in Derrick Henry. But now the Bears are going to have to fill that void. And I think when you look at Ben Johnson and his OC position and what he's looking at in that room and with that coach in general, is probably going to be a young up-and-comer.